Hey guys, how's it going? Well, I know we're a few days past Halloween, a little bit late for it, but I've been to the junkyard again, and I thought we'd play an episode of Trunk or Treat. Uh, in there, I have some goodies, so I thought I would put you on the tripod and show you what I got today, and see what we found up there. By the way, I did have some requests to show me in the junkyard, how I look at cars and things like that, and I wasn't able to really do that because the junkyard to go to, they discourage cameras, and I just felt like a camera wouldn't be allowed, and I thought, well, maybe I can sneak my phone in there, my old smartphone, and use it. And I probably could have, but I just don't see how it'd make a good video right now. Um, there are some interesting things in the junkyard worth seeing, but these days, especially today, it got reminded of it. These days, the junkyard seems to be overrun with a lot of front-wheel drive crap. There's not many old cars that are interesting and stuff like that for seeing. So maybe one day I'll try to do that. But for right now, I actually do have some junk in the trunk. So let's get to that. Well, let's see where that car was sold at now, Mid-Center Mazda. That's down in Birmingham. Come on there. Okay, I hope this stays in frame. Well, I'll tell you what, this I went to Nashville again. This is a long trip up there, but it sure made it easier since I was getting about 30 miles per gallon now. And I know some of you guys say, I wouldn't drive something like that oil four-burner. Give me my truck any day of the week, blah, blah. But I'll tell you this much, I've got a truck like a lot of you guys got, and I had a chance to open this thing up today on the interstate. And sad to say it, it'll run off and leave your truck. Mine, most of them, like the four-wheel drives, I cut off about 100 miles an hour. This one, 100 miles an hour, it went right on past it, so. Oh well. See what we got here. Let me turn this screen around where I can make sure I'm in the... Hello. Alright, what do we got here? First thing I got is for my Grand Prix, my Grand Prix. I got the washer tank that was missing, and I just stuck the bolts down in it. That's what you hear rattling. But I knew this was good because it actually still have water in it, so that's a good sign. That's how you know you got one that's not cracked. There's that. And then got, this is a vacuum reservoir. Comes on a lot of these older GMs. It's just basically a sphere, I guess. Bolts to the inner fender well. And I had a suspicion that one was missing out there, but I couldn't remember be quite honest, I couldn't remember if it was or not, but I think it is. So I just went ahead and picked it up. I don't even think they charged me for it. So I made sure to put the bolts in the bottom of it so I knew where they were. The vacuum line goes right on there. Basically what this does, it's like a vacuum reservoir. That way, when you're going up a hill or something, if you have like the heating system, the climate control system, it changes modes on vacuum. That way, when you're punching down on your gas on your car or truck, the vacuum signal goes down to zero pretty much. So if it didn't have any reservoir, it probably caused your climate control system to do some wacky stuff. So that's what this is for. Chad, you've got one on your Grand Marquis there, the 78, but yours looks like a coffee can. It seriously does. Looks like they made the thing right out of a coffee can. Funniest thing ever. Let's see. Moth flying around there. Got these things. These are these stainless steel pedals with a trim, stainless steel trim. And this is the one that goes on emergency brake. Those were missing on my Grand Prix out there. These two were. That car, I guess, that's kind of a rare option because I couldn't find any of the G-bodies that had this trim on them. So I got these off of Cadillac, and as it turned out, I kind of messed up because these are wider than the G-body brake pedal by about 1 inch. So I can probably make this one work for a while, but I'll need to find the correct one. And this one fits any kind of GM emergency brake pedal pad. Even if it doesn't come with one, you can put it on there. It just got little clips that bend down over it. So there it is. And this is a gauge cluster off of Grand Prix. There was only one Grand Prix in there. It was a couple of years older than that one. I think it was 85, but these are the same regardless. And I took the speedometer out of this. I was hoping they wouldn't charge me for the whole thing because I didn't need the speedometer. And I actually didn't need the clock either, but I couldn't get to the bolts here, so I had to take it. But the main reason I bought this was for the back. It's got this printed circuit, and it's got these little contacts here. That's where all your power comes in to run your lights and that stuff. Well, that's really all it does run is your lights. It's got warning lights, but that one out there, I've been working on the lights on, and I think something's wrong with this circuit board somewhere, because every time I move it around the wrong way, about half the cluster would go out. So I hadn't had a chance to get it all the way disassembled and take it out of the car, but I'm going to do that. And this way I got a spare if something's wrong with it, because these things are not easy to fix. It's possible, but they're not easy to fix. So there's my spare. Let's see what else we got. There, yeah. This is a replacement climate control head, they call them. This is for any older GM. This one's in excellent condition. The other one out there is not in too bad a condition, but the fan switch is broken off, and it did work, but it's just broken off. And it also, back here where it's got a light that goes in them, right here, just one of those little common little push in and turn things, and I don't know what happened to it. It got hot and it just kind of crumbled. So I'll be doing a video on how to remove and replace these. It's not too difficult, but they're a vacuum. Part of it's vacuum, and part of it's electrical, and part of it's cables. A little bit of everything there. And here is an authentic Delco stereo. You used to see these in all those cars, all kinds of GM cars. And actually, for all the cars in there, I had to go around the whole junkyard and kind of piece this thing together from about 3 or 4 different radios, because if there's one thing in the junkyard that people always take, it's the damn knobs off these things. So this one had like 2 knobs that were kind of worn here on the tape player, and these 2 knobs were missing, and one of these was missing. So I had to get the radio out of one car, and then had to get the 2 knobs out of another one, and another knob out, you know. So it's a Johnny Cash radio, you know, 49, 50, 51, 52, but it should work. It looks like it's in good shape. So yeah, I may be doing a video about that also. So it's got a assembled in Mexico. There's NAFTA for you. The only thing about this radio I'm going to have to change is this came out of a Cutlass. I think, what kind of car was that? I think it was an 86 Sierra. And they have different brackets on them to mount them in different cars. The ones for a G-body and possibly a B-body have a bracket with 2 holes on either side here. So I've got to go back to the junkyard and find that and get that put in. But looks like a good radio. And what else? Oh yeah, here's the plugs for it. I noticed in that car somebody had done like a lot of people do when those cars get old, and they whack the plugs off the radio. But these are the 3 that go in the stereo, the back of it. And I'll patch those back into the car. But these are all the same, mainly from about, I'd say at least 77 through, what, 93, 94. I think I was noticing the cars about 94 or 95 on up, they had a different plug on the back of the radio. They were still like similar to this, but they're a lot smaller. So keep that in mind. If you're going to do a radio swap, you probably need to be sure which plugs yours have. And this is probably the most interesting part here. That truck out there, that D250's got a good starter on it, but it's one of those old original. It's a remanufactured, but it's one of those old original, the slower speed starters. I'm going to do a video in a minute on these starters, but I wanted the one that was a higher torque starter. They made a higher, faster spinning starter. That's what it should have had on it originally. But when people buy a starter for those cars and trucks, they just get whatever they give them. You know, they don't know any different. So this one is a. It's got a code number, and this one's a 4111860. I think that's actually supposed to be, yeah, that's right, 7 digits, that's correct. 4111860. The date code is 1706. That means that's a 17th week of either 76 or 86. But so I got went ahead and found this one and got this one, and that's what I wanted. But then all along on that, I've been wondering if I wanted to possibly put one of those late model nip and dent, so I guess it is, starters off a late model Chrysler on it. You know, they'll fit right on it. So I was kind of up in the air about that. I couldn't make my mind up. Well, let me show you what made my mind up. Trunk or treat. Check this out, guys. I found this on a van. This is the late model starter. It's bolted into a van, and this thing looks like it hadn't even been used a week. Just barely used. It's like virtually a brand new rebuild. And you can't hardly find an original anymore. If you do, they're worn out, so you got to get a rebuild. And this thing's in just perfect shape, and it even had good cable on it. So you got another cable, and so I think I had to pay $35 for both those starters. So isn't that awesome? So this will go on the D250. I'll go ahead and put this on it, and then that fast starter there, the old style fast starter, I'll probably put it on the Dark Sport. So get this, I'll have one of all three kinds of starters, one on the Plymouth and one on the Dart, and this one on the truck. Isn't that awesome? So like Roscoe would say, good, I love it, I love it. That's it. That's all we just wrote on that one. So I'll have plenty to do tomorrow. And I was going to just tell you something kind of interesting. Y'all are asking about what's in the junkyard, I guess. I found a 73 Valiant that looked identical to mine, same color and everything. The only difference is the top was squashed all the way down into the seats. I don't know if something fell on it or it rolled it or whatever, but that thing didn't hardly have anything left on it to even pick off of it, so I didn't get any parts on it. So, alright guys, well, hope you enjoyed this version of Automotive Trunk or Treat. And I'm going to shut her down. I'm going to make a video about the starters next, so tune back in. See ya.